What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Health Over Everything podcast, the number one podcast in health and fitness. This is our first episode of the new year, and I am SoCal Gula with my host over here.
Steven Z.
What are we
Happy New
talking
Year,
about?
everyone.
Happy New Year. Um, what are we talking about today, Steven?
Today we are going to be talking about fiber and why it's good for you.
Fiber. So,
Helps you
well,
poop.
this is kind of like a research episode, kind of like more knowledge based. So we're just going to be talking about fiber this whole entire time. So we got some notes and stuff we might be looking at. So if we're looking at it off the camera, that's what we're doing. But yeah, so fiber. Um, do you get enough fiber, Stephen?
I typically do. In the MyFitnessPal, it recommends 38, but I'm not sure where they're getting that number from, but it seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So I get well over 38. I was getting closer to like 60 and I felt like I had to dial it down a little bit. I feel like 40, somewhere between like 40 and 50 is good for me.
Yeah, and it does show different. It says 38 grams is normal average for a man and also 25 grams for a woman. But most people are deficient in fiber. Not we don't get enough. But
Yeah.
fiber, we're going to talk about why we need it, what it is, and what does it do, and all the things about fiber. So let's get into it. So what is fiber? Do you know what it is?
I don't. I know it's
Fiber
basically
is a type of carbohydrate. It's a carbohydrate found in plant-based foods. So you know that, right? Those in plant-based
yeah,
in plants. You can't find it
beans.
in meat. You got to get in plants, which you could get nutrients from meat as well, different nutrients like iron and stuff like that. But if you want fiber, you're going to have to go the plants and vegetables and fruits, right? And nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and it's not easily digested by the body. And it also just what it does for your body is it provides bulk in it into your stool and it aids in digestion. So that's what it does. Its main function is, right? And also there's two types of fiber, as you know. You know what they are, right?
Yeah, soluble and insoluble.
And do you
So
know
the
what
way I think of it, just like the insoluble is like the kind of leftover of what like your body can't break down. Is like the leftover like fibers of it, and that's
Yep.
what kind of adds to the bulk of your stool to kind of help everything come out
Yes.
more smoothly.
Yeah. So to get a little bit more sciencey, soluble is dissolved in water and it kind of makes like a gel-like substance when it's in your body and it passes through the intestines. Um, it actually most both fibers don't get broken down completely in the stomach or I mean in the small intestines because as your digestive system works, it goes into the stomach. When you eat your food, it goes down the your throat and then into the stomach and into the small intestines, and then it goes into the colon, and then it goes out your anus. The funny word saying anus,
Woo!
but yeah, so fiber does not get broken down. It does get a little bit broken down, both soluble and insoluble fiber,
hmm
but it basically does not get broken down into your small intestines and it goes into your colon. And then when it's in your colon, your microbiome has trillions of different bacterias in it, right? So you have
Yeah,
trillions of different living organisms inside of your stomach and they help you keep you alive. Some of them get you sick, but a lot of those bacteria are good for your body. Like they're actually
yeah.
they're keeping you alive. They're breaking down your food and stuff. So when the fiber gets into your colon, those what is it? The
Microbiome.
microbiome, all the bacteria inside of your colon, they start eating away at fiber. So fiber is basically food for your microbiome and the bacteria in your colon, and it eats away at it and it ferments it. So it ferments the fiber, and that's what breaks it down. So it has um, a fermented process, right? So
Yeah. That's
soluble
probably what makes you
fire,
gassy, right? All that stuff bubbling up.
yeah. So that's why, right? Like it starts fermenting and you get gassy and bloated. So if you eat too much fiber, like you say you eat 38 grams, if you get
Yeah.
too much, what happens? You start farting. And things like beans have a lot of fiber in it, so that's why they say like, oh, if you eat a lot of beans, what happens? You fart. But
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, soluble fiber's main function is to get firm. Soluble fiber's main function is to get fermented in the colon and produce things called short chain fatty acids, which we'll get into a little bit later. And insoluble fibers, like what you said, adds bulk to the stool, it
Hmm.
goes into the, so basically after it goes in the small intestines, get broken down a little bit, and then it goes into the colon, and the soluble fiber gets broken, fermented um by the bacteria, and the insoluble fiber doesn't get broken down. It does a little bit more in the colon, but it basically just adds bulk to your stool, makes it
Yeah.
better for you to poop better and stuff like that. And insoluble fiber adds can break down a little bit in the small yeah, so that's what we got there. And like we said, fiber is a complex carbohydrate. You see that one on there? You want to explain that one? That's on the first page. As we say, we got these notes.
Yeah.
So
Yes, we do have notes today. They're a compound of long chain and sugar molecules. Fiber itself.
yeah. So
I'm just
complex
reading it. Fiber itself
carbohydrates.
consists of nine digestible polysaccharides. And the polysaccharides are basically complex carbohydrate structures that resist digestion in the small intestines.
Yeah. So that's what it does. So basically, that's what fiber is. It's complex carbohydrate. It's composed of long chain sugar molecules, and it consists of polysaccharates, and they do that. So they basically resist getting broken down in the small intestine. So which foods have fiber? As we said before, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes like beans and lentils.
Yeah. I feel like beans are usually where I get like the bulk of my fiber because I don't think I eat as much as you because you eat like a can a day, right?
Yeah, I'll usually eat a can. Like I didn't eat one today, but I usually when I do eat them, which is try to eat them as much as possible.
Hmm.
Today they didn't fit in my calories, so I didn't put them in. But the last 3 days I had it. I'd eat a whole can. I'm getting my fiber in.
Yeah. So I usually get about a half can, but then I do eat a lot of like vegetables. I eat a lot of fruits. So I feel like all those combined help me get to like that 40 gram a day where you need, if not more. Sometimes it's like closer to 50. So it's somewhere around that number.
Yeah. And then as we were talking about, like if you eat way too much, it could hurt your stomach a little bit, which we'll get into more. Because there's just, too much gas going on and too much bulk in your stomach and your colon and stuff, and it doesn't break it down. So it could, if you eat more than 25 grams as a woman, 38 grams as a man, like a couple of days ago, I had 80 some grams, which I was eating a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables that day, and my stomach hurt. Because if you're going to eat that much, you can, but you got to slowly get it up to there because your body has to adapt to that much fiber, and your microbiome isn't used to. If you just suddenly go on a high fiber diet, your microbiome is not used to it, and it's going to make some discomfort in your stomach. So, but yeah, the microbiome, it actually, like I said, it's called a fiber is kind of like a prebiotic because a microbiome is your your it's a probiotic, right?
Hmm.
Probiotic is just the bacteria in your gut. So you could actually eat probiotics, and some foods have it, like sauerkraut and yogurt and stuff. And those are
Yeah.
just adding more bacteria into your body. There's different species of bacteria, and you could add more that you're deficient in somehow because some people are deficient in some bacterias. But fiber through plants and vegetables and all that is a prebiotic. So basically, it's food for the probiotic. So you're eating the fiber, and the microbiome is the probiotics, and they eat the fiber. So it's called a prebiotic, is what fiber is really is. It's nourishment for the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria in your gut, right? And then fermented fiber produces, like we said, short chain fatty acids that contribute to gut health as well, immune function, and overall well-being. And some people, like, let's just get into like carnivore diet. They're just eating carnivore diet. They're just eating nothing but meat. And what does that mean? They're not getting no fiber. It means they're not
Yeah.
getting
That seems weird.
some of the, and it's, everyone's different. I hear so many people like, Jordan Peterson. He says
Hmm.
that he just eats meat, and it actually helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
And Al Michaels, that does football, he's an older guy. He's like 80. He said he never ate a vegetable in his life, which
Damn.
I don't know. I'm just like, what the hell? But I don't know. I think that you should have a balance of everything. And
Yeah.
fiber, helps lower your cholesterol, it does a lot of health benefits that we'll get into. And I don't see why you would, just if you're just eating meat, you're just getting one set of nutrients. You're not getting the other side of nutrients because fiber is a nutrient and you're not getting that nutrient.
Yeah.
So since,
Seems like
but
you might be constipated. I wonder if there's like any studies that show constipation with like a high protein diet.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I think
right?
so
That'd be
because
weird.
I ate a lot of protein not too long ago, and man, it messed my stomach for a little bit. But
Yeah, I think a
fiber.
high
Huh?
protein diet will give you like problems with your stomach too, like
Yes.
troubles with digesting it or just taking a longer time to digest it. So you get gassy, you get, stomach gurgles and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, my lower stomach was really bubbling a lot when I was eating too much protein. Like you want 1 gram per body weight or whatever they say, but I
Hmm.
was eating way more than that, and I felt it. And I was like, okay, I need to lower the. It's just a balance, and I'm just we all just test it, but it's better to know what. But balance is the key, I think. But fiber is actually
Yeah.
great for digestive health, right?
Yep.
It actually promotes regular bowel movements so you don't get constipated, right? And it also
Exactly.
helps prevent constipation by adding the bulk to the stool. So it makes the stool, like, what do you think? It just makes it get bigger so it comes out easier? Like,
Yeah. That's why in my mind it's like the leftover like fibers of the small strands. I almost think of like a mango. It's those strands that are in the mango. Your body doesn't digest it, so it just kind of adds almost like I think like grass, almost like fine fibers of like grass that don't get breaking down. So it just helps everything move. And
yeah.
maybe without, getting too much into it, maybe that mucus that you said, it kind of creates like a gel-like substance that
Huh?
probably helps move things along as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm on page 2 here, but we're on fiber is great for a few things, right? Like it's like people are
Mm-hmm.
eating the carnivore diet, so nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, that's your thing. If it helps your body out, I know people that like to eat meat,
Mm-hmm.
and I know people that don't eat no red meat, but they eat a lot of chicken and stuff like that. So, but fiber is great for your digestive health, so that we said. It's also great for your heart health. Soluble fiber can lower cholesterol levels that support cardiovascular health. So fiber is good for your heart if you want, because you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. So I think that goes
Mm-hmm.
along with it. And fiber regulates your blood sugar. It slows down the absorption of sugar. So that's great, helping maintain a more stable blood sugar level. So the sugar in your body absorbs into whatever your blood and stuff and make sure it spike. Well, fiber will help do that. That's why, like, when people say, "Oh, you're eating a banana, it's filled with sugar, just like a candy bar." Well, the candy bar doesn't have fiber, but the banana or the apples do. So that actually slows down the the absorption of the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually makes it kind of like counteracts the sugar, what a candy bar or pure sugar kind of products don't.
Yeah,
And
it's almost like your body has to go into the process of breaking more of it down, so it takes longer to get to that same sugar molecule as it would like a candy bar, where it's basically it's all made of sugar.
yes,
Has to
yeah, see,
get
that
through
makes
like the
sense.
carbohydrates and all that stuff to get down to the sugars, probably. Or this is how I'm thinking about it in my mind, at
Mhm.
least.
Yeah, that actually makes pretty good sense.
Yeah.
Like we're not scientists or anything. We're just we do research and test it, and we're just talking about what we kind of know.
Yep.
But yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, so it also helps with weight management because high fiber foods are often filling, aiding in weight control by promoting a feeling of fullness. So if
Yep.
you're like,
That's important.
yeah, so like what happens when you eat a candy bar? You get 400 calories and you're not full, but you eat a
Yeah.
bunch of,
You're hungry. You're probably still hungry, to be honest.
yeah, oh, definitely. But you eat a bunch of kale or broccoli and stuff, it's more filling, and that fiber helps do that. And also,
Yeah.
like we already said, helps the microbiome. It also fiber can help with heartburn. Like a lot of people go to the hospital and doctor visits for heartburn. It's acid reflux, all that
Mhm.
stuff. Consuming fiber may help prevent or alleviate heartburn by maintaining a healthy digestive tract. Where does that acid reflux comes? It comes from your digestive tract eating a bunch of bad stuff, but fiber,
Mhm.
obviously, you get it to do healthy things. So that's going to make your digestive tract more healthy, and it's going to limit heartburn. I don't know if proteins do they make heartburn? I don't
I
know.
don't
I know
think so.
sugars and stuff do, like carbo.
I'm all trying to think like I know pizza gives me like heartburn.
Oh,
I
definitely.
was trying to think about that like probably because of the seems like for me it's like the tomato sauce. I don't know if it's a carbohydrate problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the tomato sauce definitely to me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, Sugars, I know sodas do too. I don't know if it's just the bubbly stuff in there.
Hmm.
Fibers can reduce the risk of certain diseases as well. A high fiber diet is associated with lowered the risk of certain diseases, including color, colon cancer,
Yeah.
obviously colorectal
Colorectal.
colorectal cancer. But yeah, so like when I was eating too much fiber a couple days ago, what I did wrong is why I think my stomach didn't hurt is I didn't drink water because fiber kind of like it says it dissolves in water. So if you're eating a bunch of plants like I did these last few days, I didn't drink enough water. So hydration matters, right? Drinking enough water is crucial when increasing the fiber intake because it dissolves in water. So if you're not drinking water, it's just going to be sitting in the stomach and now it's not dissolved. Now you're getting whole fiber kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Were
So
you
that's
getting like cramps? What kind of
it felt
symptoms
like
were
a
you having?
dull, like it was on my right side here on like my stomach, the stomach side, and it kind of just felt like a dull ache. And I kept like pressing it, but it wasn't like a cramp. It wasn't like a cramp, but it was like a dull ache, and it was really weird because I didn't have it before. But it was on my lower right side. But when I first started eating a lot of fiber, high fiber diet a while
Uh-huh.
ago, I started feeling bubbling in my left side of my stomach, up on the top, more of the top, and it was just bubbling because, like you're saying, the fermentation process, which that's
Mhm.
kind of like because if your small intestines are in the middle of your stomach and your colon kind of wraps around it, so it's kind of like where the colon is, and that's where the fermentation process happens. So it had to be those damn pesky beneficial bacteria over there fermenting my fiber.
They're doing
Have
the
you got
hard work for you, man.
anything like that on from eating too much fiber? Because you said you were eating too much fiber for a little bit.
Yeah, but I was also doing like a high protein diet, so I kind of lowered both of them together, and
Yeah.
it seemed to help because yeah, my protein was like through the roof. So I think yeah, just the combo. So I dialed down on the protein, dialed down on the fiber because yeah, I was at one point I was getting like 60, sometimes more. I'm like, whoo. I was like, I feel like that for me personally is just too much. I'm sure all of us are going to be different.
Yeah.
40
So
might be better for you, 60 might be better for you, but I feel like 60 for me is a little too much. Where yeah, my stomach was more
yep.
like gurgly, maybe
Yeah.
like you're saying, kind of like bubbly, like ooh.
Yep. Yeah, so when you like we said, basically when transitioning into a high fiber diet, you want to take it a little slow. Like we track our food. I've been tracking my food now again. But yeah, so you could kind of track it, see how many
Yeah,
grams, if 25 grams if you're a woman, 38 grams if you're a man. Most people are probably not probably if you're just eating meat, you're getting nothing. If you're not eating that
yeah,
much fruits or vegetables, you're probably getting 5, 10 grams. So you want to up it slowly and just go to the recommended daily amount, I would assume. And then if you want to do more, you can. But it's advisable to gradually increase your fiber intake to allow your digestive system to adapt. Staying well hydrated is important because it makes it dissolve in there. And over time, your body will adjust and you'll likely experience the full benefits of the high fiber diet without the initial challenges of your stomach hurting, kind of.
kind of ease your stomach into it.
Yeah,
I guess
definitely.
it makes sense to you, like your body would build up more microbiomes to help it easier to digest, but
Yep.
takes time for those numbers, I guess, to add up.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because you could go all balls to the wall and just eat a bunch of fiber all of a sudden, but you're gonna have discomfort. And trust me, I had it last night. It wasn't that fun. And then some people say that they don't have enough time to, eat fiber. I heard that one before. Or some people say like, oh, I'll just take a supplement. So
Yeah.
I looked up, will a supplement give you the same benefits as a fiber rich diet? What do you think it said? It's kind of obvious.
Yeah. Well, obviously more fiber is going to be good for you as long as like the supplement has all a bunch of nutrients in it as well. So you're kind of just not, now I have more fiber but no nutrients. So obviously you still kind of want to try to get them to come from vegetables and fruits and things like that, beans. But if you just need a little bit extra help, I could see how a supplementation could help you out, just boost it up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and fiber supplements can provide some benefits of dietary fiber, but it doesn't get the full spectrum of nutrients and um, phytochemicals that are found in fiber-rich foods. So like that's the thing. Like you could just get the fiber, but you're not getting the health benefits of all the vitamin A, the vitamin D. Like no vitamin D, there ain't no vitamin D, but all the the potassium and all the other minerals that are in these fiber-rich foods, you're not getting none of those. So that's kind of the downfall about taking a supplement, but you will get the fiber. that. So,
Yeah.
but it's generally recommended to obtain fiber from various variety of whole foods for optimal health. However, in certain situations, somebody just might, like you were talking about, they might want to take a supplement.
Yep, exactly.
And then, in addition to this well-known effect of bowel health, that fiber intake, it also reduces the risk of cancer in the colon and breast, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and premature death in general. And I read that in a book called How Not to Die. It's a great book. It says about 97% of Americans eat fiber deficient diets. You see where I'm at on here? I'm on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense too. If you're eating out a lot, you're getting a lot of hamburgers and French fries. Like maybe the fries have like a small amount of fiber, but if you're getting those kind of meals as a regular source of your diet, your fiber is probably going to be on the low side.
yeah, that's crazy. 97% of people in America do not eat enough fiber, which is only 38 grams per day. But that's per day. So that means you have to eat it every day.
That's
So
a lot
somebody
of
might eat,
people.
yeah. So somebody might eat enough fiber for one day. Like I'm going to eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables and then go back to the fast food and stuff the next day. So they're not getting the full range. But it also says that fiber can cut stroke risk. Increasing fiber intake by just 7 grams a day may be associated with a 7% risk reduction of stroke. So that means you have a 7% less chance of getting stroke just by getting 7 more grams of fiber per day, which isn't much. So it's really
Yeah,
good on
that
your
isn't much
stroke.
at all. It's like a percent a gram.
Yeah. It also may,
I wonder if that if you're getting higher, I wonder if that increases the risk even lower.
yeah, that's what, yeah, I don't know. They just said that in that book, How Not to Die. So that's where I got
That's
that
crazy.
fact from. Yeah. High fiber diets may also lower blood pressure too. That's good. But constipation can be considered in that book, it says constipation can be considered a nutrient deficiency disease.
Mhm.
And that nutrients is fiber. So if you're constipated, you're just lacking fiber, obviously, we talked about.
Yeah.
Um, while fat intake is associated with increased risk of acid reflux, fiber appears to decrease that risk, as we talked about. Humans, these are just like little thoughts or little statements from the book I read. Humans evolved eating huge amounts of fiber, likely in excess of 100 grams. So you need 38 grams. Back in the day, as we evolved, we were eating over 100 grams likely a day. And that's about 10 times what the average person eats a day. They were saying basically,
I wonder how they were dropping deuces.
oh, yeah. Well, their body probably got adapted to it a lot
Yeah,
better.
eventually, right?
Yeah, that's why our bodies need fiber as well, and because we evolved that way because plants never ran away from people. So we ate a bunch
Yep.
of leaves. Like you're trying to get an animal, it runs away from you, and there's a bunch of plants right there, and you're hungry. You're just going over there and eating those plants, and you're just getting fiber and fiber and fiber. That's why we ate so much fiber back in the day.
Yep, that makes sense.
It also says fiber binds the toxins such as lead and mercury and then flushes them away. So if you have lead and mercury in your body, inside of it, and maybe from eating too much what is it called, tuna or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would have lead in your body, but the fiber can bond to those toxins inside your stomach and then flush them out of your system. So that's another benefit of fiber as well.
Now it seems like fiber just helps keep everything moving because it's like when things become stagnant, that's when you get infections and you get inflammation because things should be flowing. And it's like, if it stops, bacteria is going to be kind of slowly growing on there. And that's when you start running into issues. But as long as seems like the fiber just helps everything kind of bind to it and helps it move at the same time. So it's like picking up as it goes.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like a little sweep cleaner, almost like putting like something
Yeah,
in there, like something in your tubes. And that makes
that's
sense
for
too
sure.
because infections and what'd you say? Infections and what else?
Inflammation.
Inflammation are two huge reasons why people either go to the hospital or eventually end up dying from diseases because you want to keep your inflammation low in inside your body. The less inflammation, the better. And obviously, you don't want an infection. So that's
Yeah.
a good point. It also says only 3% of Americans may even reach the recommended minimum daily intake of fiber, making it one of the most widespread nutrient deficiencies in the United States, which we talked about 97% of people don't get enough. So 3% of people do get enough, which we might
Yeah.
be in. We might be in that eventually. You say
We're in
you
the
get 38 per
3%.
day, right?
Yeah, or I'm in the 3%. You probably get a good amount too a day, right? You're eating a
Yeah,
can of
definitely.
beans.
Yeah, today I only
Probably
had
hard. You probably get like 30 or something, 24, so somewhere around there just from the
today
can.
I had 19 grams. But the last couple days will make up for it on average because I had like 50 some grams the day before and 80 grams the day before. So I kind of like I want to switch it up a little bit. Maybe have a
Yeah.
higher some days and lower some of days because or maybe a exact because it's hard to get an exact benefit when you're eating like
Hmm.
the exact balance I should say because
Yeah.
some days I'll eat the steak like I did today. I ate steak, um, sweet potato, and broccoli, and that didn't
All
wasn't
right.
enough fiber, but it gave me enough protein, so. But I
Got to get the
already hit my
steak in there
calorie
every once in a
range.
while.
Huh?
Said you got to get the steak in there every once in a while.
Yeah, you got to get that. I'm trying to lower like as much meat, but I want to get, you got to get that protein in. So I'm trying to still experimenting with my diet still
Hmm.
because, I'm still relatively new to this stuff too. Okay. So it says, like we said, 25 grams for women, 38 grams for men. What happens if you get excess fiber? Like you said, it could cause bloating,
Yeah, bloating, gas,
gas.
abdominal discomfort,
What else?
diarrhea.
Yeah, all
That's
those
just
things.
things are moving too fast now. You got too much fiber.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you get too much, like obviously we already talked about, you can definitely have stomach issues. It can interfere with nutrient. So getting too much fiber, it says, can interfere with nutrient absorption and in some cases lead to nutrient deficiencies. It's crucial to maintain a balanced diet, as we were talking about, and extreme levels of any nutrients, including fiber, can have adverse effects.
Yes,
Individual
it
tolerance of
can.
fiber can vary. So that's crazy. So like it gets, interfere with your nutrient absorption. So I'm thinking maybe you have too much fiber in your stomach that when you're eating everything, like it won't go out of your system or something. I don't know. But I don't know exactly how that works because we're not scientists,
Yeah.
but that's what it
I'm all
says.
thinking like what if maybe your body like runs out of energy? There's so much fiber that it's trying to break down. And I don't know if that makes sense. I was gonna say by the time it gets to the nutrients, it's like all spent. Or maybe
Yeah.
the nutrients only stay alive for like a certain amount of time.
Yep. Okay, so we'll go on this like okay, now why do even plants have fiber in them? You want to go on that one?
Basically, it adds to structural support. The cellulose is a key component of the cell walls. It forms a strong and rigid structure, providing support to the plant's tissue. This is crucial for the overall architecture and integrity of the plant. So basically, it kind of helps hold its shape. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my
Like
mind.
their skeleton almost.
Yeah.
So fiber is like plant's skeleton if you want to, helps them hold up.
Yeah, it makes
Water.
sense. You got these little fibers just
Yeah.
reinforcing everything.
It also has water regulation for in plants. That's why they need it. Fiber helps regulate water uptake and retention in plant cells. It contributes to the plant's ability to maintain, what is that, Tuger?
Yeah, tuber pressure.
Tuger pressure, which is essential for proper cell function and overall plant health. What else does it do? Why do plants have it?
It also acts as a defense mechanism. Fiber acts as a defense mechanism for plants by the indigestible nature of fiber in some organisms, including herbivores, serves as a deterrent against excessive consumption. Some fibers may also trap or hinder the movement of certain pests.
So what that means is basically fiber in plants. Why do plants have fiber? Because plants are like any other animal, they want to survive. And survival is key. So they developed fiber in there throughout evolution. So when other animals go and eat the plants, like we were talking about, we eat too much fiber, what happens? Our stomach gets discomfort. So if you're an animal now and you go and eat these plants, you're saying you're eating it, and it makes a lot of other plants don't have the stomachs we do. It might
Mhm.
really hurt their stomachs or make them feel really bad. So they're just like, I'm not going to go eat that again. And they don't
Yeah.
eat it. So it's a defense mechanism for the plant. So that's why the plants also have fiber as well. It's a survival mechanism as well. That's kind of pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It makes sense too. It's
Plants
like, I'm going to
plants
make your
are a
stomach hurt and
little
you eat me.
yeah.
You-
I wonder if plants have any consciousness or are they just more operating off a little just whatever. What the hell?
yeah, that is crazy because it's like evolution is kind of crazy, just how everything even made itself. But you look at every animal and all of them are interesting, kind of like, or every plant and animal, what kind of mechanisms they came up with for defense. And that's just fibers is what plants use. And it's pretty crazy.
That's funny. Like we're still gonna get eaten, but maybe they'll eat less of us.
Yeah. And then and it balances out too. So if you didn't have that much fiber in your plant, if you're a plant and you didn't have much fiber, you
Get
might
eaten.
the animals might have went and ate you all up, and now you're not there anymore. That plant's
Oh
not here anymore.
man.
And that's why the ones with the fiber kind of stuck around, and the ones that didn't have no fiber didn't, because okay, let's go eat all that. And then obviously a bunch of animals, they're not thinking about saving for the future. So they just go and eat all that plant with no fiber that makes them feel good. And then what happens? The plant dies out. And then over time, through evolution, the only ones that last are the ones with fiber. And that's why plants have fiber now, kind of. So it's pretty crazy how
That is
evolution works.
pretty
Seed
crazy.
dispersal, too, is why they have them. Fibrous materials and fruits and seeds can aid in their dispersal. For example, fibers in the husk of coconuts or the papas of dandelions seeds help them spread through the wind or the water. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like that one plant that you pick up and you blow,
Yeah.
all the little seeds go everywhere, and it helps them by being fun. They get more planted everywhere around the world.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? So while humans may not fully digest plant fibers, their presence in our diets provides benefits to our digestive health and overall well-being. The interactions between plain fibers and the digestive fibers of herbivores, including humans, have evolved over time, contributing to the mutual relationship between plants and animals that consume them. So that's, we just have a symbiotic relationship with plants as they do us, because they need us. Even sometimes you'll eat a plant, the seeds will pass through us. We use the fiber,
Mhm.
and then what we'll do, we'll disperse their seeds through poop or whatever, and then the
Yep.
plant will grow again. But then we need them for the fiber for our microbiome, and the microbiome needs the fiber. So it's just a symbiotic relationship, as everything works on Earth, really.
Yeah,
So
that's funny. The bear eats some of the seeds, but then the seeds get more plants in the forest. It's a
yeah,
win-win, right?
yep. So another question I had, I researched, was if fiber is fully digestible, isn't fully digestible, so it's not digestible. Do
Hmm.
we just poop it out? Like, does it just go through us and poop it out? As we talked before, the portion of the plant fibers that humans cannot fully, like I talked about, we'll just talk about again, digestive. The portion that we do not digest travels through the digestive system largely intact until it reaches the colon. And in the colon, the indigestible fibers interacts with the gut bacteria. These gut bacteria ferment the fiber, breaking it down into various byproducts, including short chain fatty acids, which we'll get out what they are soon here. While humans don't absorb the fiber itself, the fermentation process in the colon produces beneficial substances. Short chain fatty acids, for instance, are known to provide energy for the cells lining the colon, support overall gut health, and may have other positive effects on the body. Additionally, the remaining undigested fibers add bulk to the stool, adding in the passage of waste through the digestive tract. This helps prevents constipation and promotes regular bowel movements overall. Even though humans don't absorb plant fiber directly, it plays a crucial role in maintaining digestive health and supporting the activity of the beneficial gut bacteria. So that begs the question: what is, when they do ferment, the
Hmm.
bacteria ferments the fiber, what into short chain fatty acids? What is short chain fatty acids? What are they?
All right. They are a group of fatty acids with fewer than 6 carbon atoms. They are produced during the fermentation of dietary fibers by the gut bacteria in the colon, which is basically, we were just talking about all that.
Yep.
The primary short chain fatty acids include acetate, pri- what the heck? Propionate and butyrate.
Butyrate. Yeah. Some weird
Butyrate.
names.
Yeah, some scientific names there, having some troubles right there.
Yeah, as we all do.
These fatty acids are various psychological effects in the body, and their energy sources. They can be absorbed into the bloodstream and used as source of energy, particularly for the cells lining the colon. So it's also has your gut health in particular. What is this? The beauty rate, butyrate. I like to know how to pronounce that.
Butyrate.
Butyrate is
Butyrate in
also,
particular. Yeah.
yeah, is known for its role in maintaining the health of the cell lining. With the cells lining the colon, it provides energy to these cells and supports the integrity of the gut barrier.
So let's just stop there. It basically short chain fatty acids can be absorbed into the bloodstream and it produces energy for the cells lining your colon, which is obviously you need that. And also it um, is known for maintaining the health of the cells lining the colon, but it provides energy in these cells that support the entire. So basically, short chain fatty acids provide energy for your cells inside of your guts, right?
Yeah, that's what it
Basically, what
sounds
it's
like.
saying.
It's almost like the ADP of the body.
What is ADP?
What is it? The shoot, I don't know the science terminology behind it, but it's like the powerhouse. The
Oh, okay.
powerhouse of the cell. ADP. I remember that from like high school or something.
And it also short chain fatty acids have associated with anti-inflammatory properties that may play a role in modulating the immune system, and it has metabolic effects. Short chain fatty acids like pro, propionate may influence metabolic process, including the glucose metabolism. So yeah, so it's some sciencey kind of stuff there, but short chain fatty acids is what fiber gets fermented into, and it's good for your colon. It's good for your energy of the cells, and helps influence your metabolic process and your immune response. So that's what the short chain fatty acids do. So you need that. So that's another reason why you need fiber. And if you're just eating just meat and stuff, you might be not getting all that those benefits of the short chain fatty acids, which will
Your
could
gut
lead
is
to like
suffering.
colon cancer. You don't want that colon cancer.
Yep,
Uh,
definitely not.
so we'll talk about what foods are high in soluble fiber, and that's the ones that get fermented in the gut by the microbiome. You got oats, right? Oats, oatmeal,
Yep,
and
I
oat.
have.
What?
I was gonna say I have oats usually every morning. I think that actually helps. That and the beans help me get my fiber up.
Okay, yeah, and that's rich in soluble fiber, particularly beta beta glucans. Legumes, beans, lentils, peas, fruits like apples, citrus fruits, berries, pears are a good source of soluble fiber. Vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, broccoli, nuts and seeds like flax seeds and chia seeds are high in soluble fiber. And also there's a plant called, what's that, psyllium?
I think it's psyllium. I,
Psyllium.
I think I used to get a supplement called psyllium husks, but it
Yeah, and
was
that's
almost
yeah.
like oats, pretty much like a powder to add
Yeah, and that's
fiber
what
to
it
your
is.
diet.
So when you're getting supplements, a fiber supplement, that's what they use is a psyllium husk,
Okay.
and they grind it up and make that supplement. So it's derived from the husk of the seeds of um a plant called psyllium, which you
Mm.
don't really eat that plant. It's not something you're gonna go get at the grocery store, but they use it in order to make the supplement. So that's high in soluble fiber as well. And then the foods that are high in insoluble fiber, the ones that you need to bulk up your stool, are whole grains again. Foods like whole wheat, brown rice. What is that?
Quinoa.
Quinoa. You know what that is? Contains insoluble fiber. What is that? Quinoa.
Yeah, it's almost like a rice, but it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
almost reminds me like little beads.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So I
had
don't know.
those.
It kind of has a similar consistency to like maybe pasta or something like that.
Yeah,
Rice
no,
or
yeah,
pasta,
I
kind
had
of
some of
firm.
those. Vegetables like dark leafy greens, like kale and spinach and stuff, are high in insoluble fiber. That will add to your bulk, which makes sense because they're just leaves and it's going to add to your bulk there. Celery, the skins of the vegetables, fruits, grapes, kiwi, and the skins of fruits like apple have a lot of insoluble fiber. It seems like the skins of the vegetables and fruits have the most, which makes sense because it's like the skin, which like just goes through your system and bulks up, and the more you eat, the more it just plumps up and makes your
Yeah,
stool bigger.
makes
Almonds,
sense.
sunflower seeds, and other seeds are good source, and legumes. The outer skins of beans and stuff are good too. And also,
Good to know.
consuming a mix of both soluble and insoluble fiber is beneficial for overall digestive health. And that's pretty much all I had written down in my research of fiber.
There's
So
a lot to take in. A lot of stuff I wasn't even aware of.
yeah, that is a lot. But so just to talk a little bit more about it without reading like we were, like fiber is good, like I think it's good. Like if it lowers your risk of dying, that's what it seems like it does. It lowers your risk of stroke. It could lower your cholesterol. Obviously, you're eating a bunch of good stuff like beans, fruits, vegetables to get it. So
Hmm.
Yeah, you want to definitely increase your fiber intake, in my opinion, or at least make it a daily average.
Yeah, plus, it just helps with keeping everything moving. Like that's what you want. Everything coming out, you'll have more of a regular bowel movement. You know, before I used to go like multiple times, but now as seems like as soon as I started eating better and getting more of a fiber intake, it's usually just like once a day and I'm good to go.
So yeah, what does that mean? Like, so if you're saying that fiber helps move everything, don't you think you would have more bowel movements per day? Or is it just,
I guess so, but for me, it really didn't because just think it adds more like the bulk to it. So instead of
yeah,
having to go smaller amounts of times, there's just less or maybe more in one sitting instead of like small ones throughout the day. Since it's adding more bulk to your one,
yeah.
so your one is bigger than multiple small ones, or
And
maybe
who
even
knows? Maybe it also like when it goes through your system, it takes a little bit longer to get through the system, maybe because it's collecting all the
yeah,
stuff, the bad stuff too.
that's true.
That's especially since so when you're like eating, let's say chili chili burgers, chili dogs, and hamburgers and stuff, it's not taking a long time because it's digested faster because fiber isn't digested in the small intestines. So it
Hmm.
might take longer to get through there. And then other shit just goes right through real fast and just comes out more often. That could be a
That's funny.
reason as well.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of, like we say, we're not science, but fiber, it's definitely good. Anything else you'd like to say about fiber?
No. I think we pretty much covered everything. You're gonna get them from your fruits, your beans, vegetables. Those are gonna be your main sources, your go-to. So if, for me, beans is a big one, and what's the other one? Just my fruits and stuff, my
Oats.
vegetables, but yeah, my oats. Oats is my other big one. So the oats, I usually have like 55 grams. It's a good amount of oats in the mornings. So oats with beans. I feel like if you like those things, add them to your diet. You can help increase your fiber intake. But yeah, it's important to keep everything moving. It's kind of just like with everything else, things that kind of sit still, you start to run into problems. So if you have blockages or things that should be like getting broken down your system, if it's just kind of staying there because you don't have enough fiber, then you might run into some like gut issues and you
Yeah,
know
you don't want your shit just sitting there getting inflammation. Inflammation is a
yeah, that's what
huge
I'm
deal
thinking.
inside your body.
Eventually become like a disease or inflamed to the point where it's just you get an infection.
Yeah, and like I was on Christmas vacation not
Mhm.
too long ago, and I ate bad at my mom's house in Florida, and it wasn't that long, just a few days, and I'm already getting heartburn. I haven't had heartburn in a while, so then I went back home, started eating high fiber again. Like I eat my proteins too, but whole foods. I
Mhm.
just eat steak, chicken, or stuff like that. But I try not to eat as much as that anymore. But yeah, I was eating fruits and vegetables, and now my heartburn's gone again. So it's
Right.
just, and it's crazy because when I was feeling that, I was thinking about it, and it felt like I was going to throw up because I ate too much junk. It feels a lot of inflammation, and like you get like so much
Yeah, it's
acid
like
reflex and heartburn. It feels like that's going to lead to a heart attack. That's just what it seems like. It's like that's why people have these heart attacks at 40, 50 years old because they're eating so bad. They're not eating this fiber that passes through all the stuff,
mhm.
making lowering that inflammation. And it's just insane. Like people don't understand that. That's why we're doing this podcast. We're gonna do more podcasts about other things too. Maybe we'll do one on protein, maybe we'll do one on carbs. We're gonna try to have other people on the show as well. And we'll
Mhm.
also have things just like what we're doing at the gym and stuff like that. But here and there we'll have a kind of like a in-depth talk about certain things like fiber and things like that so we could get more knowledge and people could understand why you need it and maybe it could help them live longer.
Yeah, help you with your stomach issues.
Yeah, so definitely stomach issues because as you get older, your stomach starts repelling a lot of stuff. Like it's not as like when you're younger, you could just eat anything. When you start getting older, it's like, hey, your stomach will start
Mhm.
telling you signs like,
Starts
and you might
fighting
not know
back.
why. Yeah, and it started fighting back. So then you might have to be like, hey, like, what do I need to do? And you might never even thought of like, hey, I need more fiber. I just need to eat a daily recommended amount of fiber, not like I need to go eat a ton of it. Just
Yeah.
eat 25 grams if you're a woman a day and eat 38 grams of per day if you're a man, which means
Yeah.
go out there and eat some beans, eat some oats,
At
eat,
least get the 7 grams.
yeah, at least,
Reduce that stroke risk.
yeah, by 7%. Just think
That's
like if you went and
crazy.
exercised, started exercising that will lower your stroke risk a certain amount. And then you eat 7 grams of fiber. Now you just lowered it another 7%. So you want to lower these risks as much as possible. You don't,
Yeah.
you don't want to leave your family behind. You want to die, or you don't want to even survive it and even being worse off. So
Yeah.
you definitely, nobody wants, they might say like, I don't care. That's a lot of people say, I don't care. But once it actually happens, like, yeah, you don't care. And your family will like, oh, look, now, your family will care. Somebody will care.
Somebody will care down the line.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want to feel bad. It's also not just about like they always say, it's not about your how long of a life you have. It's about how much health you have in your life. Like you
Yeah, like
want
the
to be
quality.
healthy and feel healthy because just that one week in Florida, I'm on vacation feeling like shit, eating bad. It's just like I don't want to feel like that. It really lowers your quality. It's like I didn't want to eat like that, but I did. And it's being around all that food, but it's kind of
Mhm.
like kind of a good experiment to do that again before I got back on
Just a
my health
reminder.
thing because now I reminded myself, but also just reminded myself about how bad of a life it is to feel like that. It's definitely not good to feel that acid reflux, that inflammation, and just feel like
Mhm.
you're damaging your body so much that you could go at any time. Like I literally feel like I was gonna throw up by eating so
Damn.
much shit. So yeah, so fiber can help with all that stuff. It can definitely help, like it says, lowering your blood pressure, lowering your blood sugar levels, lowering your risk of stroke, lowering your cholesterol levels. So there's so many benefits to eating fiber and not just a supplement because you want all the benefits of what the foods that provide fiber give
Yeah.
you, not just
Want the
supplement, but
nutrients as well.
yeah, nutrients is key. Like your body is a biological it's a biological being. It's a biological thing and it needs its proper nutrients. And like that, we're not saying just eat fiber. You eat lean meats and stuff like that. We eat steak here and
Yeah.
there because there's things inside of that. We'll talk about that maybe in a future podcast about what's in the meats because there's a lot of things in meats and stuff that you can't get from plants as well. So we'll
Yeah,
maybe make one
exactly.
of that. So we're not just singling out people that just eat meat or just boosting up people that just eat plants and stuff. But
Yeah.
because we like a well balanced diet. That's what I like. Like well balanced diet, get the full range of the human diet and
Hmm.
the tasty stuff because it's all good in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Eat a little bit of everything. I don't hate on the meat eaters. I don't hate on
Yeah.
the veggie eaters. So
Yep.
just do whatever is gonna work for you. I kind of
Yes,
enjoy
sir.
everything now.
All right. Well, that concludes our episode number 19, our first one of 2024.
Woo!
So, yeah, if you like this episode, you got some knowledge on it, or you liked the information, share it with somebody. Our goal is to get 1,000 subscribers this year. So, subscribe to the podcast. If you're not subscribed, subscribe on Spotify. You can subscribe on Apple too, but we're trying to get on Spotify, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
subscribe and
Subscribe 1,000. We need 1,000.
and tell one of your friends. Just if we like, hey, these guys are awesome. They just gave me some good information. Tell one of your friends, hey, listen to this podcast and subscribe to it for them. We're trying to help them out because we want them to get big so they can help out other people and just getting more the information out there to help others. And we need your help. All right. Well,
All
that's it,
right.
Stephen.
We're gonna end it there.
All right. All right, Whole Lifers. See you on number 20
Keep
next
living
episode.
that whole life.
Peace out.